Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the live stream. We first review the watch list, then we trade the market open every day. Hope everyone had a good start to the week on Monday, yesterday, and today is Tuesday, the 24th of March, and it's 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We got another 15 minutes till the market opens at 9:30, and then we wrap up trading usually within 90 minutes, so between 10:30 and 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the video description below for some FAQs. Let's get to it. I love the chat that you guys were you guys were talking about this morning. It's so funny. So when I put AYTU on the watch list, I was like, oh man, I feel like such a hypocrite right now. But in all honesty, I don't know if we're going to be trading it. The main reason I put it up there is because a lot of times when there's not a lot of good lead gappers, I've noticed that the gappers or the strong stocks from the day before sometimes perform the best, and AYTU is kind of one of them. I still really don't like it, and I don't know if we're going to be trading it, but you know, if we have a big dip or something on AYTU because it has a big float, I might be doing some trading on it. So again, that's kind of why I added it. But I guess the main one we should be focusing on is IMAC. This one's looking pretty good, already up 320% when I ran the scanner, and now it's up, let's see, 378%. Just absolutely wild, this guy or girl. Anyway, it's a 4 million float, and that's the reason it's really kicking up so much, is because, you know, a lot of these stocks like AYTU with the 70 million shares outstanding, it takes a lot more money to get them moving. It takes a lot more trading. It takes a lot more volume. And a small cap stock with 4 million float, these things can absolutely rip on almost no news sometimes. Obviously, IMAC has a really nice news. So let's go ahead and talk about that on the long term. Here we go. Wait, IMAC, where? Shelter care, choosing shelter in place. So yeah, they have new telehealth options to maintain communications with active care patients. Shelter in place, I believe that is to stay at home, but basically these guys, what's really nice about them is it's a small cap, 3.8 million market cap, with also a contract with the US government. So you don't always find something like that. And they're a US government partner, and they're kind of offering this solution to Department of Labor office workers. So it's kind of, anytime you have a kind of collaboration with these small caps with a large entity, large corporation, with a government, these tend to do extremely well with small caps because it's a bit more sustainable news. Yeah, I don't know. The trading with those kind of catalysts are always really nice. We have some highs here at 7.2, so let's just kind of go ahead and identify some of these key areas. 5.5 always tends to be an interesting area I would be looking at. And then again, down here at $4, I would probably go ahead and just kind of understand that $5 is typically a key area as well. We probably don't have to mark it, but why not, just for, you know, ease. And then again down here, probably argue at 3. We have the 180-day moving average coming in here, so you want to keep an eye on for this one. Also, IMAC was sub-dollar not too long ago, so just, you know, something to think about as well. I typically don't like to trade sub-dollars. They're a little more crazy with the spreads. A lot of traders avoid them as well, because a lot of traders that are using foreign brokers or offshore brokers, they have to pay per share. And when you're trading a stock that's sub-dollar, all of a sudden you're trading thousands of shares or tens of thousands of shares, and that's when it gets really expensive and basically unprofitable to trade sub-dollar stocks. And that's why they tend not to move as nicely. A lot to catch up with you guys. Yeah, let's see here. AKEER from Keith, coronavirus vaccine. I'll definitely look it up. 13K on meds, got my little 29 trade 2 days. Satoshi. Oh, that's tough. You know, MEDS and what was the other one we were trading yesterday? I was really worried about, because these are the classic stocks that have a one-day spike and then they just kind of go down to Neverland. BHAT and HOTH. That's why I was so careful with HOTH, for example. I just never felt comfortable holding it. I was like, this is when this thing breaks $5, it could just keep trolling down. This is why I don't like to hold overnight. So you traded MEDS. Let's see if we can pull this one up. Yeah, similar situation. Broke 750 and then just kind of had one nice little bounce in this area. What I like to do, always like to do when I start my trading day, is I look on the chart, what are some of the past spikes? Because stocks, especially small caps, often have muscle memory. Traders look at these past moves and they say, oh, okay, so MEDS had one big move to the upside here and then got totally sold off again. What are some of the other big spikes it had in the upside? Well, this is a fairly new and spotty stock, so it doesn't really have many. But a lot of people identify these things and they want to be very careful, and that keeps people from trading these things overnight a lot of times. And why I typically don't want to be trading after 11 o'clock, because that's when the volume really starts to fade off. You can see right here is 11 o'clock, and this is kind of, low volume. It's tough. But I've had many setups just like that, Satoshi, and yeah, that's kind of why I have that hard rule at 11, because I've held many bags, and at one point I'm just like, I don't want to keep doing that. Proud dad. Yeah, I can go over my scanner setup. I have a whole video on the scanner. So I won't go into the details, but basically I run the scanner at about 8:30 in the morning and then just kind of check out what's going on here. So we have a lot more now. We have 61. When I ran the scanner this morning, we had 40. And then I'm just kind of flipping through it. So I go here and, seeing what's moving. And, a lot of these stocks I just don't pay attention to. I want to see a nice clear gap. I want to see a clean chart, something that's running and up on news, ideally up 20, 30, 40%, 50, maybe even over 100%. And, a lot of these are just, dead moves, and you could just go through them very, very quickly. Even this RIOT, super choppy. That's not what we want to be trading, not holding the highs. ONCY, horrible looking chart. GLBS, what is that? IMAC, and then you're like, boom, okay, this is a clear move. Pulled back to this $1.57 clear support area. This could have been actually a really nice pre-market bounce, but tough. Watching PENNAALDAL boy claws. Okay, good to see PEN and could be a good buy. Yeah, so all these kind of larger caps, I might be really looking to trade today. So we actually had a really nice little trade with SPCE with our IRA account, and we sold it pre-market just because we get these really nice moves pre-market. So we bought the $13 breakout not too long ago, a few days ago. Kind of held this one overnight a few times. Different strategy, but basically in the pre-market we sold here near the highs at 15 something. Where's my order? 1543. So I love these large caps and on days like today and yesterday, and honestly since we had that really big red day. That's when I bought SPCE. So just, buying these dips and then selling into the runs is really nice on these large cap or days like today. And that's why the small cap world has been a little tougher to trade, because traders are a little bit more focused on these large caps. And I don't know, that's why I'm really excited for the market to get back to normal conditions, because it's really tough to find small caps that a lot of traders are looking at, because traders are going to be trading the SPY or the VIX or stuff like that. So let's go back to IMAC and think about what could be a good setup with IMAC. Oh, I'm on the wrong day here. And yeah, AYTU and SPCE, I think I might be looking for some bounce trades on them, but we'll see. IMAC is definitely a small cap, gap and go, looking pretty nice. Yeah, large caps are moving like crazy. So again, it's going to be tough to decide what to trade, but IMAC, if we get to pull back to maybe 1.6, 1.5, I might be jumping on it fairly quickly for now. We have another 5 minutes to the market opens. Let me see here. Let's very quickly look at SPY. So SPY had a really, really nice bounce. Let me go actually to the 5-minute chart. This one always trades basically the whole day through. No. Yeah, a little bit laggy here. I hope you guys are having some good connection. Okay, so we're on the 5-minute here. When did the SPY close? 222. So right around high, so roughly here. And now we're up around 5.3%, I would say. So we're definitely going to be opening green, which is nice. I don't know how strong this bounce is going to be, but you know, the market overall has sold off so aggressively, so we might see some really, really nice bounce potential. Not to mention, yesterday was about a negative 3% day, which I found quite surprising. So here we are. Oh man, the SPX is just so rough. Hit 2,200, and yeah, today should be a fairly green day. But yeah, talk about, you know, catching a falling knife. Dip buying the SPX, that would have been so hard to do. That's why we don't trade the market, we trade these small caps, because they're a little bit more predictable. John, yeah, I do think there's going to be a bit of a bounce just based on the SPY. Let's go check some of these other tickers. It's going to be a crazy day. MasterCard, huge sell-off. Found some support at 200. Bounced from 199.99 all the way to 215, about a 15% bounce. That's a really, actually no, that's a, what, 7.5% bounce. Pretty solid bounce. For a company like MasterCard, 7.5% move is massive. Another reason we typically don't trade large caps. Space, I have a limit order on my IRA account for any sort of bounce towards 13. I think that could be a really, really nice snag. So, wow, what is going on with my computer? That is ridiculous. So, big long-term support and resistance between 12 and 13. We've talked about that before a little bit, I think in the recap videos, but that should be an interesting little day. Let's see what happens. I'm going to be focusing most of my attention on IMAC out of the gates, and then I'm going to have my scanner going, seeing if we have some other stocks running. But you know, dip buys on AYTU could be really good, and then maybe even buying some breakouts on IMAC. You know how I feel about breakouts lately. The last 2 weeks they've been really, really hard to trade, so more like maybe breakout pullbacks or something like that. Let's see what happens. Right now we're kind of getting ready for another rip here. It's going to be really interesting watching this out of the gates. Yep, IMAC, Satoshi, yep. Gap like crazy tonight. JNUG today, Paul. Yeah, we were looking at JNUG a lot. It's been acting like a little small cap, but I'm not a big fan of trading the gold ETFs just because I don't have a lot of experience. And Satoshi, I hope you have a good recovery on that one. It's always tough to have one of those losses, but just know it happens to everyone. Put up AKEER from Keith for a second here. I like how this one's moving pre-market as well. A little bit below VWAP, but I'm going to go ahead and put an alert on it, see if we pull below 2.5. I would like to actually probably buy this on a reversal of 2.5. I would need to check it out a little bit longer. Could be kind of a crazy open. So good luck, everyone. Just no need to get overly aggressive, but let's see what happens. It's going to be a big open here. Here we go. Ooh, that was loud today. Definitely at 1.6, I would be probably getting long on this one. Right now, we just broke up past the pre-market highs. A lot of traders are going to be jumping on this. Let's see what happens. Right now, we have the 180-day moving average right above us. want to keep an eye out for that. Big resistance here, 2.5, $3, and then again, maybe 2.4, some big time resistance. I would probably like to see this pull back a little bit first. Then again, that's usually how I always want to trade. TOS is going very, very slow. Just watch out for that. IMAC up 360%. What are the nicest gappers in the morning? And then AKEER, Keith shouted out, looking pretty good as well. Had a little dip here, but already could be a little red to green move. I'm going to keep an eye out for this one a little bit longer. I like the percentages on it. 2.6, also dollar volume pretty good. And check out that float. Shares outstanding 1.7 million. Really, really nice. Some reverse splits on this one. Yeah, big spikeability potential. Want to watch out with this gap down area. But I think the upside potential is really, really nice. Wow, my computer is so slow right now. Good call, Heiko. IMAC halted. Hit that high of 2.2. Kind of like a quick 10% pop here to the upside from $2 out of the open. I find those extremely difficult to trade, so I oftentimes leave them alone. If we wanted to trade this, I'd be looking for about 500 shares, maybe 600. But actually, I'd probably be wanting to trade this a little closer to 1.6. So maybe a little bit more shares. So I really think the laggy stream is when my TOS starts exploding, like on days like today. I don't have anything else open. I've really limited it. So I do think it is with that open. This is kind of absurd, but I think my CPU with that open just starts exploding. It's about 700-800 shares depending on our entry. I'm going to go ahead and put it for 700 right now and just kind of remember that. AYTU at 2.2, really nice breakout here. Look at this. We had kind of a bull flag here. We had a move higher pre-market, pull back to 205 support, and then ripped on higher again. 7% move, pretty nice. Inching higher, big resistance at 2.5. So let's see how high this thing goes. Remember, it had the big catalyst from the day before, the FDA coronavirus test distribution approval. Really, really nice kind of news on a company. But just remember, it's not really a small cap. It has that 78 million shares outstanding, 167 million market cap. So really, really big stock. Takes a lot to move it. And there could be quite a lot of back holders on it. So yeah, tricky one to trade for sure. Quick little pullback here. I don't know, this, honestly, if I wanted to trade AYTU, this would be kind of the entry I was looking for. A quick little pullback to a clear support area. I'm not trying to trade this on breakouts. So AYTU looks kind of interesting. Check out that 5-minute doji candle. Let's go back to IMAC. I want to watch this open. Which should be happening at 36.20. AKER below 2.75. Whew, I really could use the second screen right now. Nice move, Boy Claus. Yeah, that's a tough one. Webull is a bit choppy this morning. AKER still dipping. Don't even know if it's worth putting this alert on, but I do like this general area we're at right here. Buying this with 500 shares could be a really interesting move. Let's watch the IMAC open. I'm going to be looking at AKER a little bit more. I'm going to check it out on FinViz, see if I can see anything interesting about it. Here we go, IMAC pulling back. Going to put a limit order on this one and watch AKER a little bit more. AKER has a float of 2.27 million, market cap of 4.5. Coronavirus vaccine candidate license. $2.5 big time support. That's kind of where I wanted it, but I was hoping we get a little bit bigger of a dip. Oh, I couldn't speak just now. Let's see if this this bounce already takes place. Get ready for a possible move on this one. I want to keep watching IMAC a little bit more. Still pulling back here. Good morning, Tommy. It's an interesting day. Anthony on INPX. Woo! Back on INPX. Wow, we haven't traded that since like New Year's. Whew, what a day. Everything is really slow on my end. I'm switching the charts and nothing is really feeling like it's updating. I'm not totally sure. Sometimes I almost feel like things are halted, but they're not. So being a little bit cautious here. Overall, the markets are up a lot today, 5 to 6%. Trying to do like a little mental recap to get myself realigned here. AKER, I was looking for a dip buy at 2.5. We might have missed that one. And then IMAC, I'm still looking for a dip buy around 1.6. Let's see what happens. Try not to rush into anything too soon. But at the same time, I don't want to miss the big runs right away like I have been, or at least on Monday I missed a lot of big moves, but it's sometimes better to be cautious. I also don't totally trust my alerts right now. Looking to do 3 trades today, so I'm going to be reducing my position size. I might just stick to always trying to do 3 trades. Yeah, bros, and that's because the overall market is really the one that's moving. And we've had a lot of these small caps already up on vaccine news and potential vaccines. And so far, they've all been one-day kind of runners. Check out IMAC as well. You know, it's had these big spikes before, but a lot of these spikes are short-lived, so you want to keep an eye out for that. We had another pullback on AKEER, but we did not get the pullback we were waiting for. I might have missed this setup. A little conservative with my entry. 57 is typically where I would want to be going long if I was watching this live. So I'm going to try to watch this live a little bit more. I might move up my limit order manually. Again, it's a little hard to call this one. But I would have liked to actually enter this one if I was watching it, I think. Kind of flipping back here with IMAC and AKER. It's been so much more dip buys lately. I'm a little nervous with IMAC since it was halted again. You know, how do I want to trade this? I don't want to just buy directly into a halt. I might go ahead and remove my limit order. Not my favorite positions to be in. I do like the big support though that we have in this area. Still watching some of the larger caps, and I want to keep an eye on for MAAC at 46. We got to keep an eye on for that one when it's going to open up here. AYTU back at $2. It's a very tricky one to trade. That's why I think the only way I would have traded this one is really those whole number of kind of bounce support areas. Here's a lot of buyers at 201. Boom, but they just got chipped away, but then bouncing. This is a tough one to trade. Remember, AYTU is also on the backside of the move. Those are some of my least favorite kind of setups, but at the same time, it's a bit more of a large cap, so it's probably getting more attention today. Satoshi, CHEF. A little quiet out of the gate here. Looks like I already had a little bit of a bounce. Chef's Warehouse. For small cap trading, it's a bit of a large cap and kind of slow. Let me see. We got another 2 more minutes till IMAC opens up. It's going to be really interesting. SPC kind of pulling back a little bit. Also a large cap, but this one's been so thickly traded that I feel like any sort of extreme bounce on SPCE or a dip could be a really nice bounce trade. I have a very conservative limit order around $13 on my IRA account. So I don't know if we're going to get that one, but I'll probably leave it there for a day or two. It's also available for pre-market. So sometimes you get the nice dips pre-market or spikes pre-market. Remember WTRH? How can I forget? I'll look at that one in a little bit actually. So AKEER did exactly what I wanted, and both times I was too conservative. I should have put my limit order at 257. I had a feeling that front running was going to be a little bit necessary. I had my limit order at 247, and check this out. We just barely missed this entry by like literally 2%. And then this runs up 32%. So a little bit painful on AKEER. Good call out, Keith, on that one, but I traded this one a little poorly. Let's see if we can do maybe a secondary entry on here. I like this potential red to green move that we're seeing on it. $75 could be an interesting entry. Very strong pullback it had. Let's see if we dip into the 70s. Just gonna watch it a little bit longer. Oh, it looks like that bounces might be over already. Just gonna give it a little bit more time. IMAC is about to open up here. A lot to watch though. IMAC is officially open. Got an alert on it. I'm not sure if the alert's even gonna go off though. 75. See if we can get an entry at 76 here. We just missed the entry on AKEER. I was a little distracted. We got 75 shares, so partial execution. I was kind of watching IMAC, which just got unhalted. AKEER, we missed it twice. I can't believe that. My charts aren't really updating that fast, which always makes me extremely uncomfortable. I don't really want to chase this one, but I do think that this could be a really strong red to green move. We have about a third of our position filled. We'd be up around like 10% right now. It's tough. I would probably be closing my position right about now. It's 49. Let's see what happens here. This could be breaking higher. This is tough. I would have already closed out with our AKEER position. This could have been like an 8 to 10% trade. We just missed the fill. We got a partial entry. It's tough. It's tough when that happens. I was a little bit too conservative, but in a market like this is the crazy volatility we've been having lately. It's really hard not to be extremely conservative. And so far in March, it's paid off quite well. So I don't mind it. Still watching IMAC. Looks like it's bouncing pretty strong. I don't think we're going to get filled on that one either. Gideon, man, unwatchable lately. Yeah, it has been. The market's just been like, so much going on. The best thing to do though, I found, is just, pick one or two stocks that really fit your criterion and just kind of stick with it. Who cares if you miss all the other moves, but at least if the stock that you're watching does the right move, you can capitalize on that. I think that's so important. Pulling back a little bit again here. Could be that secondary entry if we wanted it. I'm not really sure. It's not typically how I trade. Might just go ahead and miss this move, which is fine. Just really quickly want to check MAC again. Really nice little rounded bottom here. 14% bounce, pretty strong. So far, a VWAP bounce. Halted on the way up. Oh man, IMAC just constantly halting. PENN about to break. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good looking move on PENN. We got the 15-minute EMA here on the daily. And then also on the 5-minute actually coming in as support. This could be a really, really nice move breakout here. I like this. This is good bull flag, nice little pattern here. Might have a little quick dip down first, but overall, good setup. It's a little tough with AKEER. Thinking, what should I do right now? I would have already been out of the trade. Took my 5, 7, 8% profit. Let's think about this just a little bit more. This could be a really, really good red to green move. Good setup. One of the top lead gappers on the day for sure. Good catalyst. Recent several reverse splits. Big volume on the day. Big resistance though at 3.5. But right now we're kind of pulling back to that key support area. So this could be the ripper. This could be a big mover from 10 to 10.15 to 10.30. I'm not sure if IMAC could run with all. Yeah, I mean, typically that's what halts allow for big moves to the upside. Here we go. Looks like we're going to get a little pullback here. This is kind of tough to think, should I just hold this one through or should I get out of the position? And so far I just decided to hold it through. Although if I was a full entry, I would have got out of it. Having a little dip here. %6 dip. Still a lot of selling volume coming in on this one. Buying volume is strong though. AKEER up on $10 million volume. That's what I like to see. Got another 6 minutes till 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. PLAY has been a big mover as well. 40%, yeah, huge for a large cap. $500 million stock. Up 40% today. That's insane. Gotta say, AKEER is looking pretty healthy. Slowing down a little bit. Just kind of watching the order book a little bit, watching the market, just trying to slow things down a little bit in my head, seeing where the big orders are going through. Are they sell orders? Are they buy orders? Sometimes the volume candles don't really give you the full story. That's where the price and time and sales comes in really nicely. See, we have 1,500 shares getting bought right here. A little bit more selling volume coming in again. I would like to get a little bit more aggressive on this as we have some sort of breakout. So I'm keeping a close eye on this. I think AKEER could be a good break above VWAP around 10 o'clock, 10:05. Let's give it a little bit more time. Cool Guy 24, Eric. Oh, which exchange are you looking at? Also, I think there is somewhat of a delay on here, even though I don't have any delays set. It seems like there's like a 20-second delay. Keith, you got a lot of stuff you're checking out. Some more buyers crawling in on the order book. 70 getting chipped away. We might get filled right here. All right, we got to fill on 68. Down 67. Down to 63. Could I have been too aggressive on this entry? Possibly. I had the ideal first trade that I would have closed for a small profit, and this technically would have been my second trade already. We're under allocated on this trade, which makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, but that doesn't mean I can just blindly hold something even if I am under allocated. So let's see what happens with this one. Still watching AKER out of the corner of my eyes. The sell, that dip was very weak. Let's see if we can get long on this bounce with our full allocation here. Slower trade for sure. Gonna have one more attempt here to average into this trade. This is really not my standard kind of trading style, but you know, days like today, you can't sometimes have to wiggle around a little bit. All right, I don't want to go any more than this. Let's see what happens. My goal is for a break back above VWAP. We're right now at 10.01. So I'm looking for a bigger move now to the upside. Don't want to be holding this too much longer. I do believe 2.5 is a big time support area on a lead gapper with volume, kind of pulled back very aggressively pre-market. So that's the one thing I don't like about it. So let's see what happens. Would like a retest of VWAP and ideally a break past 3.5, but we'll see how we're going to trade this one. I would probably take a portion of my profits near VWAP. I don't know if it's going to break past that. It's a tough trading day. Large caps are definitely the ones in charge. You're delayed. That's really weird. Okay, ER breaking up now. AYTU pulling back here. Whew, what an aggressive sell-off on AYTU. Really just don't feel comfortable having so many orders out. IMAC keeps getting halted on the way down. It's really easy to kind of just forget about your limit orders. I don't know if I really want to be trading this one. Makes me really, really uncomfortable kind of watching this. Although I do think 157 is massive time support zone. Just makes me a little bit uncomfortable knowing I have a limit order in there that I can just be, you know, catch a falling knife on. AKEER, I was hoping that this thing would break above the 15-minute EMA with some strength. Having a first pullback here. So far, this could be a higher low, so this still looks like a fairly good trade. Thanks, Tommy, for that shout out. I got some coffee next to me and it looks super good, but I'm like, that's the last thing I need right now. I'd probably get a heart attack. Wow, big swings on AKER. I don't know if you guys are noticing this, but the spread is really opening up here, making me a little bit uncomfortable in all honesty. I don't like to just constantly hold these positions. This is probably one of my longest trades in about a week or two. I've been going through the trade journal. I've realized a lot of my trades are only 3 to 4 minutes. Like the trade here, this would have been a 2 to 3 minute trade. But I didn't close out because it was a partial execution. We're trading about yeah, let's see here. Let's see what happens. Give it a little bit longer. I think my IMAC limit order could have been good, but I don't like to be watching so many things that are just not performing. I don't know how much longer I'm going to give AKEER. I might close out of this trade any moment here. Really don't like the fact that the volume's not there. The bounce was weak. 15-minute EMA just didn't break. All things I don't really like about this one. Big spread as well. Just a ridiculous spread. There's definitely some buying interest though. It's officially 10:07. Everything looks very weak. Yep, I totally agree. We've tried several times now to break out. Bloody tampon. I keep eating tampons. That's a very unusual thing to say, but that's what you're into. Check out IMAC, pulled back to 1.63. You know, we could have had that entry on this one. I just felt really uncomfortable trying to dip by this as it's getting halted on the way down. So that's why I kind of removed my limit order on that one. This is a good time to put in my UV blue light glasses on. Allows me to stare at the screen for much longer periods of time. All right, which ticker are you looking at, Heiko? This makes everything like brown, but kind of like a good brown, like a shade. AKER is really a little bit different here. Big sellers that just came in, big order. It's been consolidating for quite some time in this area. I'm probably going to give it till 15. I'm not sure if IMAC what it will do. I mean, it was a lead gapper, good catalyst. I think it has a lot of potential. I don't like how much it's getting halted. Shaky order book, big spread, not really things I like to be looking for. Yeah, AKER is very shaky. Give it probably 4.5 more minutes. But 5-minute chart looks okay. I like how we had saw a higher low come in. I don't mind taking a small loss. Right now, I still see a bit decent upside potential. 65 getting chipped away there a little bit. I don't like that. Market's pulling back a little bit here as well. Pretty big move just now on AKEER. This is what I've been waiting for. A little bit of volume coming in here. Nice move, actually. Kind of surprising. Although that's kind of what we've been waiting for this whole time. Let's see what happens. Let's see if it follows through. I want to break off this 15-minute EMA, and I think it's definitely possible. Want to be careful, though. I mean, yesterday we were trading HOTH in a similar setup, and it did not follow through. We got away with one loss and one win just because we had decent entries. Something else that worries me a little bit about this one is the fact that it's down about 43% from the highs. I typically don't see sell-offs that are so aggressive, so I don't think we're going to get an amazing follow-through if we do get one. IMAC back at 1.77. It's been such a slow day in the small cap world. That's kind of why I wanted to put a little bit more focus on AYTU, space. I mean, even PENN, like you guys are calling out in the group, PLAY. Those are really the winners of today. And it's just another day where we kind of knew that, you know, it's going to be a slow day. But big bounce day for the large cap world, and that's kind of what, you know, today came out to be. I don't like the fact that it's getting close to 10-15 and we still haven't had that move to the upside. I was really expecting maybe a little bit of consolidation here, maybe 3-4 minutes, but not, you know, this 10-15 minute consolidation. That's probably the biggest thing that's putting me on edge on AKER. So let's see how it performs now, and give it a bit longer. Still looking at a few of these large caps in the corner of my eye. I think space had quite a bit of a pullback and now bouncing again now at 1624. That's what we sold pre-market at, what, 1540 something. That was a pretty nice little trade. AKER, the volume really dried up on this one. So a little bit unfortunate. I think I'm gonna probably have to take a loss on this one, which is fine. I was expecting a little bit quicker of a play on it, and when these stocks kind of consolidate a little bit too long, that move is most likely over, and I don't usually want to be part of it. I think we might get a little pop here to the upside, but other than that, I don't know if we're going to have a nice clean break past VWAP at $3. Sometimes, you know, they rip at like 11 or something like that, but I'm already kind of going against some of my trading strategy. $62.59, not what I want to be seeing. I'm trying to get out of this trade. I'm pulling back now quite fast, a lot faster than I was expecting. Let's see if we can get out of this trade. All right, we got out of this trade, small loss, about a 4% loss, and now it spikes back up. I don't know, this one's really been messing with our mind. You know, this has been a very, very tough last few days, and you know, it's actually been one of my best months, and it's just because we've been extremely cautious. You know, we've took many small losses, but we've had some really nice big winners, and mainly just because I've been, you know, waiting for these stocks to dip a little harder and stuff like that. With AKER and a lot of these other small caps, it's been just such tough trading because traders almost totally avoid them at one point. And you can kind of see that at about 9:45, this thing was almost not traded the rest of the day. Very low volume here. Should have been a little bit more cautious sign. I was kind of talking about that in this area when I was like, I don't like when these things consolidate so long. So I kind of knew that this might be a losing trade. I wanted to give it a little bit longer. Luckily, we didn't take the worst loss on it, about 10 cents a share, which is totally okay. So yeah, we'll just move on this one. Probably take these off since I'm not going to be staring as much as I was. Yeah, Javier, I see your message now. I usually take a few minutes and always go through it, especially in the beginning or after a trade. But during a trade, sometimes it's really hard for me to focus on too many things. So I apologize if I miss your guys' notes or something like that. It just, sometimes I'll miss a big order in the order book or something like that. And those are like key things I look for. Or a price level getting chipped away. AKER is interesting. You know, there is a chance it might spike up, but you know, there's also a chance it just ends up like HOTH and or you know MEDS or BHAT that just sell off the rest of the day. You know, it could easily be one of these stocks, and this is why when a stock kind of just consolidates to the downside, I typically get out. Sometimes we have these really nice runs where it consolidates in this area and then rips to the upside. But you know, when they start pulling back 30%, 40%, like which one were we talking about, AKER, that's when you want to be a little bit more cautious. So, you know, yesterday was a green day because we had really conservative bounces on this one. But just, you know, look how this thing pulled off. It just ended up selling off all day. So I kind of felt like AKER might be the similar situation. I still kind of feel like this could be great bounce potential in this area. I mean, this is what I was waiting for. 2.5, roughly 5% bounce. This original trade where we got a partial execution, you know, this ran up 8%. You know, that could have been a nice trade. So we were kind of right on AKER. My timing was off. This trade didn't really work out. It just happens sometimes. That's trading in a nutshell. Sometimes you don't get them. But I will say if AKER rips up now, I'm going to be a little disappointed. I'll be like, oh, come on. The rest of the day, you know, we're getting really close to the 10:30 mark where I typically don't want to be trading. So I might put out some limit orders and just kind of let the trades happen that way. Otherwise, I'm not really sure if I want to, you know, be getting aggressive on these small caps right now. I feel like small cap season is coming soon. It's coming really soon, but it might take another week or 2 weeks to really be in full swing again. SPCE, check out this nice breakout at 16. I would have loved to trade that. We had a nice little flat top here, flat top. I can't speak right now. At 15.7, 15.65 maybe, and a clear breakout from there. Really, really nice. Maybe I'll try a little space trade. Take a look at CHEF. Whew, look at SPCE just tanking. That was a quick red pullback, huh? Really nice move on CHEF. Slow and consistent, trending above 15-minute EMA. Look at that dip it had. From 42 to 360. Oh man, it's like, take your position and divide it by 10. That is just absolutely terrifying. So these are the kind of the stocks I think a lot of traders are jumping into, and that's what I've been doing with my IRA account, my large cap account. And honestly, if I was not streaming a small cap challenge, I probably wouldn't be trading a lot of these. And that's kind of what I said in the beginning. Like, we want to be really, really careful. These are just not the stocks you want to be trading right now, but sometimes you still find some good opportunity. AYTU 175 could have been a really, really good dip buy. Actually, we didn't get down there. We went to 185. Nice. Still, percentage-wise, not really too exciting. Heiko's still holding AKEER. Yeah, we'd be positive again if we were holding it. Kind of building up some momentum here. Not too shabby. It always sucks to get out at the bottom, and that's kind of what cutting your losses is a lot of the time. You really, it's a tough thing to do, but you got to understand that if you don't cut your losses, there's a good chance that it's that one time that the stock goes down 20%, 30%, 100% and never recovers. So you just got to get out. We're day trading here. We're not investing. And I think once, that makes a lot of sense. That's good. Actually, AKER could be a good secondary trade. I like this little bounce here we had in this area. Yeah, so we would have been right. Timing was off. Timing was off on this one. Tough, really, really tough. Any other normal day in the markets, AKER or IMAC, they would just absolutely rip. And if you're waiting to dip buy like this, really conservative dip buys, you would miss every move. And that's what makes volatile markets so difficult sometimes, because it kind of throws away your normal straight trading strategy. Although you could apply that normal trading strategy to different stocks sometimes. All right, Shane, good to have you here. I'll see you tomorrow then, and in the trading recap video. See, AKER, look how sketchy that is. Just all over the place, just so messy. Ugh. Good call, Andrew, good call. Yeah, this one's looking quite interesting. I was way too conservative here when this thing started pulling back. I wanted that 50 entry. I just don't like buying these halts on the way down. Remember what happened with APRN when we were buying halts on the way down? I mean, APRN was kind of a excessive example, but that was halted on the way down. We got in, it went down another 30%. Luckily, we only took like a 2% loss on it because we were able to get out on the bounce. But that's just, it's tough. It's just a weird day. Like is holding on to it like a bad marriage because there's kids involved. You're also getting started with trading on probably one of the hardest weeks ever, or hardest 2-3 weeks ever. Nice average on that, Andrew. This could be a really, really nice break to the upside. Nice pullback on SPCE. Kind of an unusual pullback. PENN still making nice higher moves. PLAY now at 52%. Up on the day. This one's going to open at 29.11. I'm going to keep a close eye on that. I would like to maybe get into this one, but I don't think I would want to buy IMAC on a breakout just because the way it's been a little shaky. A lot of fake outs too. Big time resistance above, but you know that kind of makes it attractive as well. If it breaks past this 2.4 area, and then breaks past 2.6, this could be a really, really strong move. But so far we've had many tops in this area, but it kind of showed that, you know, 1.5 was a solid bottom. And that's kind of what I wanted on the entry. That's tough. This one's going to open in about a minute. So take your sips of coffee. It's going to get intense. Yeah, whole market is going crazy. Up 8, 7, and 6%. Phew! Beautiful stuff. All right, here we go, guys. New all-time highs on this one. Might get halted again any moment here. I think it just did get halted, no? Oh man, these halt restrictions are sometimes really, really tight. Yeah, another halt. That's basically IMAC all day today. It's just so ridiculous. IMAC was the one, and you know what? We had that limit order at 57 this morning, and I should have just left it there. I didn't like that we were just getting halted on the way towards my limit order, and that's why I removed it, but that would have been a phenomenal trade. It's just one of those days. AKEER still didn't break to the upside. I think I would probably be an emotional mess. I'd be probably on the floor crying at this point, or have some sort of stress-related heart attack. That would have been perfect. You're up. Makes it even more painful. And I had a whole video about doing exactly that yesterday. Oh, what happens? probably one of the harder parts about trading is like those missed trades, because I think I'm a little numb to it now, but when I first started out, I always felt like, oh, now I need to like, get into this one. And that's when you just make a giant mistake. Like with AKEER, what if I was like, this one finally moving up, I'm going to get in on this one, and then boom, goes back down. All of a sudden I'm down, 5-6%. I'd be like, oh God. So I oftentimes don't like to trade a stock that I just traded, just because I feel like I might be too emotionally attached to it. Edible, CCL. We got every day to trade, that's true. A little ripski up here. This is a huge stock, 11 billion market cap. Carnival Corporation, Carnival Cruise, 710 million shares outstanding. Typically, I wouldn't even look at this one for a second, but the fact that it's a large cap, and today really large caps are taking center stage. This thing is really moving like a small cap, so traders are on this one. It's a little unfortunate that IMAC kind of just took off without us. I would have liked to trade that one, but it just kind of keeps on getting halted. God only knows that it's going to get halted on us when we get on our entry. Let's see if we can do maybe a trade with CCL. Good call, Unable. This is actually looking kind of like there's a little potential. I would have to reduce our position size a little bit for our proper allocation. Heike, don't tell me you're still in AKER. I don't think it's going to pull back all the way over here. I just, I kind of want to throw this one on my chart right here on the current account. That way I can see where I have my active limit orders, something I want to trade. So that's why I have this right now. I could possibly do 2 more trades today. So that's really what I'm looking for. Could we maybe snag another trade? But I don't really feel like, rushing into anything. I feel like there's a good chance I'm going to be rushing into a stock if I'm trading it today. But let's see. If the opportunity presents itself, why not? Otherwise, I'll take my small red day today. Totally fine. I'm not totally sure, Muddy Dirt, if the market gets halted on the way up. I have no idea. Need you in the room help tomorrow. We need the Satoshi challenge. Need to make 7K to get my account back to PTD rule. I think you can do 7K. I wouldn't put an artificial time frame around it. That would make it a little bit stressful, but I think you can do 7K. Look for those clean hits, those 5 to 10 percenters. It's those overnight kind of swing trades that really, they might work a few times and they might be beautiful, but when they don't work, it's pretty devastating. SPCE pulling back here, but what are you trading with? Like an average of like 5K position sizes? I mean, a 10% trade on that is, $500. So you just need 14 of those and you're back. 25% trade on AAL, really nice. XL or XL. might try another trade with SPCE. We had some fairly nice ones. I've noticed it pulls back much more aggressive than I ever expect SPCE to do. So I'm not sure how aggressive I want to get on it, but I think a trade around 15.5 or something like that could be a fairly interesting play. So I'm going to go ahead and put a limit order here. Again, I don't know if we're going to get it. There's a good chance we don't. But I'm just going to go ahead and put this limit order. I'm going to do the recap video. I'm going to maybe do a little bit of afternoon trading, but not really trading, but just, adjust my limit orders, see what my IRA account's doing, things like that. Nothing really too aggressive. And yeah, I think that's pretty much how I'm going to probably trade the rest of the day. Again, small caps are just a little bit slow, but once they're back, we're going to be ready for it. Here we go, CCL, Carnival, cruise lines pulling back a little bit. What I like about this 14.5 area is, if you just zoom in here, you can see this is where we had the first initial bounce, about 14.8, and then I would probably even say 14.47 at the low. So we broke out of that area with some nice little continuation. So I wouldn't be surprised if we had a retest in this area. It's hard to say where it's going to be, but this could be a really nice little bounce trade. Now you have to remember, these are not small caps, so you're not going to make 3 to 30% in a minute or two. You might make 3% if everything works out really, really well in a few minutes. So, but on a day like today, it's definitely possible. So we got Carnival and we got Virgin Galactic on possible trades that we might do today. PLAY, this one's been a very active stock lately. I don't know. Could be a good VWAP bounce trade. It seems like VWAP has been holding up quite significantly on it. So 16% move there, pretty nice. JOW, Jow. Are you talking to me? Can I live stream trade ideas? I might incorporate my trade ideas a little bit more if you guys are interested in my long-term holdings, maybe in my morning watch list in the 15 minutes before we start trading. But I don't want to confuse accounts and strategies, because typically the small cap gap and go strategy is very, very specific. And usually we only focus on 1 to 2 stocks a day, and we don't even look at large caps because there's no point. So, I know this is only going to last like another maybe week at best, maybe 2 weeks. So I don't want to switch up too many things right before it probably gets back to normal. It's a kind of a tough thing. But yeah, I'd be super down to show you guys what I'm kind of swing trading. Just got into stocks. What's up, Stefan? Yeah, check out the $25,000 gap and go challenge. I think there's a card on this video where you can check it out. Yeah, it's the second video in the card, and so at the top right of this video you can click a button, and then, or maybe it's the 4th video. Either way, it's one of the videos up there, and we go over this whole challenge. So we've already grown this account from 4,000 to 6,750, and we grew our other account, our IRA, from 1,000 to just about 4,000 now in a few months. Was it December is when it officially started. November was we were getting everything ready, and now it's really starting to pick up. So yeah, just check that out. Learn the gap and go strategy, and then start joining us for the streams. If anything doesn't make sense, it's fine. It doesn't have to make sense at first. And within a week or 2 or 3 weeks, definitely within a month, all the different moving parts are going to start, making sense. Yeah, I also have a video on my scanner as well. Check out the video description below. I kind of break down everything. I have the links to the videos and the scanners I use. Everything's free. Need to make back 50K lost over the years. Well, right now is a good time. Yeah, AKER was a bit of a disappointment today. I was a bit worried that, this candle was going to be the one here where we got out, but luckily it wasn't, so we were able to get out at a little bit better of an exit. But yeah, this is really turning into one of those from yesterday. Like MEDS. Definitely HOTH. And a little bit like BHAT as well. And those were yesterday's lead gappers. And a good way to kind of identify that sometimes these are stocks that don't hold their highs well is check out these former spikes. They're like one-day spikes. They don't really continue. So when you notice that, it's good to be extra cautious on those kind of stocks. Yeah, it's pulling back very aggressively. Now the sellers are really taking over. Not a lot of volume here. When we didn't have a lot of volume coming back around 10 o'clock, I think this should have been an indicator. So around like 10:07, 10:10 is already when I was thinking in my head, I don't really want to keep holding it. And then 10:15 was when I decided like that's going to be my max. And then we had that crack and I was like, well, there we go. That wraps that one up. But it had everything. It was gapping up nicely. Big gap up, 125%. And check out that float, 2.27 million. Really nice. Medical, healthcare sector. What was their catalyst? They had as catalyst license to corona vaccine candidate from Premise Biotech. Interesting. The only big red flag is that pre-market below VWAP. And that's why I only wanted to buy this one around 2.57, which would have been perfect again. You know what? AKER and IMAC, our original trading ideas were right again, to the point. So it's a little annoying that somehow we still missed them. That's really I'm kicking myself in the butt. Today could have been such a good green day. So you typically want to stock holding the highs above 25% when it starts pulling back. When you start seeing this sell-off below VWAP, and that's the purple right here, it's not good. It means it's already kind of had its high, it's had its big run, and now traders are leaving it. It's no longer interesting. Probably the catalyst wasn't that great. And yeah, it just kind of sells off the rest of the day. So a little bit unfortunate that was the case with AKER today. Heiko's not happy about AKER either. Yeah, it's a bit of annoying setup here. Also, I gotta say, Heiko, you're really getting started at one of probably the hardest times to start trading small caps. You're probably like, why is small cap trading even a strategy? And I would say 80% of the year, it's a phenomenal strategy. Maybe even 90% of the year, or 95% of the year, actually. It's like, this is very unusual. The markets never look like this. I mean, yeah, so this has been the last 2 weeks in the markets, huh? From 3,400 basically to 2,200, just an insane dip. And now we're getting some nice bounces. Today's actually a really, really solid bounce. That would have been a really tough one to identify. Interesting. Keith, THMO halted for 30 minutes now. That's really unusual. I'm going to check that one out in a second here. You know, I've never really identified support and resistance on the overall market. This just shows you how little I trade the market. I never trade the market. You're dealing with algorithms, you're dealing with institutions, you're dealing with the whole world when you trade the SPX. It's just not something I want to be doing. I like these small caps. They move in very predictable ways. They're just beautiful to trade. You can get those really nice returns in just a few minutes. And we've already shown we can do it consistently. We're almost at 200 trades now. Actually, we might be past 200 trades. I got to check my trade count in the last few months. So you know it's not like we're randomly getting lucky. And we're growing the account very nicely. Even, yeah, Shark, I mean, yeah, that's super true. THMO, let me quickly check this one out. This is, what is it, THMO? Oh, my TOS is so slow, it's gonna make me freak out. SPCE pulling back now. Looks like the market's hit their high of the day. What is this thing? Genesis Holding Inc. Very light volume. $3.87 million market cap, big breakout, up 87% on the day. Why was it not on my scanner? That's the real question. THMO. Halted for such a long time. 22 minutes or 22 minutes already. Very unusual. $9 million market cap, negative 12.6 million income. Pride's corporate update. Up on earnings. That's good. Big resistance at 4. Not so good, but it did have a nice flat top breakout at 4, so that's a good sign. Many reverse splits. Interesting stock you found yourself there. I don't like how loosely it's traded. I think to me that's one of the always a big red flag. I don't like stocks where there's just a giant spread. In 2 candles you could be down a ridiculous amount. Look at that 23% dip, just really, really sketchy. I'm not sure what the dollar volume on it is. I'm not sure why it's not popping up. THMO, $2.4 million volume, a little bit more than I thought it would be, but maybe it just kind of really started picking up here, that's why. I canceled my order, yeah, I don't blame you. NCLH moving hard today. Yeah, they're really picking it up as well. Norwegian Cruise Line. These cruise lines have just gotten so destroyed. I mean, from $60 to $7 in just a few weeks. Whew, that is really brutal. Sir Richard Branson just launched their Virgin cruise line like like 2 weeks ago, or was it a week ago? Or I think they paused the launch. That is really unfortunate. Really tough time to be launching a cruise line. It looks like I'm having some streaming issues right now. I'm not really sure why, but it looks like I'm getting a bunch of warnings coming in from YouTube. Current bit rate is lower than it should be. You know what? I'm actually going to wrap up anyway because we didn't get the trades that we were wanting today. It's tough. You know, it's AKEER and IMAC both did exactly what I wanted to today, and somehow we were not able to walk away with a profit, which is, I think, one of the most annoying kind of days. So today's a bit of a red day for me so far. Let's see if we get one of those trades in the afternoon. I'm not sure if we will, but so far, I think I'm just gonna have to probably accept the fact that today's a red day. A little bit annoying there. Yeah, I'm cutting out so hard today. Yeah, I have no idea why. It's super annoying. I don't even have any other softwares running. I apologize for that, guys. There's not a lot I can do. I've noticed it's been really, really bad in the last like week. I think it's maybe a lot of staying at home kind of coronavirus issues in Berlin. I have no idea. But hopefully, you know, we've had months of good streaming quality. So hopefully we'll get the good quality back here. Look at NCLH, guys. Definitely pulling back. Could be a great dip buy. I think a few good dip buys are in front of us in some of these large caps. So there's a good chance in the recap video that I'll be talking about one of these dip buys. But till then, guys, thanks for tuning in. I definitely appreciate it. It's good fun here. I appreciate all the likes as well. Consider subscribing if you're new here. I would like to keep trading with you guys and keep learning from everyone. And, you know, before you know it, we're going to hit that $25,000 mark on this challenge. And then we're going to be switching a few things up. I'm not sure if I keep streaming. I probably will. But with the strategy, there's a few things that I'm thinking in my head that, you know, we could add to our strategy, or it's going to definitely change a few things. So I'm excited to keep growing, and there's going to be a lot of progress. So guys, I will see you then for the recap video, and I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow. Thanks again for trading or tuning in for the stream. Till next time, guys, stay safe. And like always, make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.